everybody, Lord Tremendous here. Got a battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle number 12. It is I, Lord Tremendous of the Ogre Cons, versus Delphir of the Dread Elves. I finally have an elven opponent, and I'm super excited about that because I get to kill Knife Ears. It doesn't get any better than that. It really, really doesn't. This is a good game. This is my Dread Elf. He's opponent. This is like his fourth or fifth game. He doesn't have a whole lot of games under his belt yet, so try to go easy on the judgment. Help him out if you can. If you got any tips, suggestions, whatever, that's great. But yeah, none of us are ringers yet, so it's not a perfect game, but it is still a pretty good one. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see how it goes. Here's my list, and I haven't changed anything. I like this list, so I'm going to be playing it for a bit. I've got my Great Shaman, Kaka Shabadu. He's a level 3 wizard with Heart Ripper, Demon Heart, Talisman of Greater Shielding, Charm of Cursed Icon, and the Path of Butchery. I like this kit. I have no problem with it, and I like having my Great Shaman as my general. No reason to change it. Next up, I got my hero choices. I have my Khan. He's my BSB. He's got a great weapon, Mithril Mail, Gemstone Amulet, Skull of Kanghet, or something like that, and Rotten Jaw. And yeah, I love this kit too. Although I am toying with dropping the Skull of Kanghet off of him, maybe, because it doesn't really come into play all that often. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm still toying with the idea. I've got my Shaman, the Combuster. He's a level 2 wizard with the Skull Splitter, Talisman or Lesser Shielding, and he uses the Path of Fire. This is my Chaff Dealer with her guy. And then my favorite, the man, the myth, the legend, my Mammoth Hunter, Lord Tremendous. He's got an Iron Fist, Ogre Crossbow, Armor of Destiny, he's got the Headhunter big name, and he's on a Tusker. God, I love this guy. For my core choices, I still have basically everything the same. 7 by Tribesman, Banner, Musician, Iron Fist, Heavy Armor, and they just work. And then I have a unit of 5 Tribesmen with Banner, Musician, Iron Fist, Heavy Armor, and the Banner of Discipline, because this is where my general goes. Then I have my unit of 4 Bruisers, butt naked. And I got to be honest with you, I actually toyed with taking these guys out of the list and just kind of buffing up my Tribesman units a little bit. But the last handful of games I've played with them, they've really pulled their weight. Not only as chaff and a kind of like a speed bump unit, but just being able to hold down a flank all by themselves. To the point where in the future you might see them do something really incredible. So yeah, just I know kind of like a mini spoiler, but think of it more like a preview. I'm actually probably going to keep these guys exactly how they are. So for my special choices, I still have 2 units of 5 Scrappling Trappers. Here's the first one right here. And here's the second one. And a lot of people have actually asked me, why do I take Trappers over the Saber-Tooth Tigers? And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed my Saber-Tooth Tiger. But at the same time, these guys just do so much more for the same amount of points. Skirmishers, trapping terrain, 10 shots, thrown weapons, scout, vanguard, all that stuff. These guys, for 40 points, you just get so much more out of them. And in a desperate situation, I can use them as a speed bump, and I don't mind throwing them away. So, yeah, I don't know why more people don't use them. Then over here, of course, we have my 6 by Mercenary Veterans. One apparently is stealth painted. I apologize. I'll get a new picture as quick as I can. They got a Banner Musician, Iron Fist, Lethal Strike, Thunderous Charge, and the Banner of Speed, because I want these guys in your face, breaking your skull as soon as possible. Next up, we have the apple of my eye, the thing that makes my heart beat, my kin eater, Elizabeth. God, she's a homicidal maniac. Triss. And then for my rare choices, I still have my Scratapult, and I'm going back and forth on keeping him, having 130 points to play with, to do something else with. I mean, I could find 20 more points and put my Slave Giant back in, which I'm toying with. I really do like the Scratapult, though, having him in the background doing stuff. But I don't know, having another monster around is kind of cool, too. So, we'll see. Decisions, And then, of course, the new favorite of my army, amongst many favorites, let's not get it twisted, is Rufus, my Frost Mammoth. Both the riders have the Ogre Crossbows. God, why did I not start with this model, with this unit? Just everything about it is victory, I swear to God. But yeah, that wraps it up for my army, so I'm going to go through my opponent's army, and feel free to pause it whenever you'd like in order to see what he's got. Here, my spells, which are exactly what you're looking at. And as you can see, I have some plastic-looking cards up there. A buddy of mine 3D printed them, and I'll be painting them so that they come out a little bit better in the pictures and everything. But yeah, that's some 3D printed stuff. Welcome to 2016, huh? Here's deployment. For the most part, my thought here was just place everything in the center. We've got in the middle there, it's we called it ruins. I guess it could have been like some sort of shrine or whatever. We decided to call it ruins. And so I threw my trappers in there just to make it so that if they do come through there, they're going to be taking some DT tests if they do anything but, walk through it. I got my bruisers over on the left flank. Their job is to take out that bolt thrower. If they die in the process, so be it. But the sooner they can get into that bolt thrower and destroy it, the better. That was just luck. I placed those guys over on the left flank, and I don't know if my opponent didn't see them or just didn't know how fast they were. I have Tremendous on the right flank. Same thing. That he was going to swoop around and just run into whatever he was given. And it looks like he's going to be getting some fast cav and some scouts. I have my other unit of trappers in the ruined building on my right flank there. I've got my combustor in that building, and his job is to take out the fast cav and the scouts as soon as possible. And then everything else in the middle is going to come up forward and just try to do as much damage to the elves as possible. But I want this to be a bloody battle because you know how much I love killing elves and how racist I am against elves. And if you don't, well, you're about to find out. But that's deployment. Here's my opponent's right flank, and as you can see, it consists of a bolt thrower. Here's his center. From left to right, there's his Dread Knights. I believe his general is in there. In the middle there is a unit of crossbow elf guys with his sorcerer in there. I think the level 2, I think the hero level 1. Behind them is another bolt thrower, and next to them is a unit of corsairs with his BSB. And corsairs are mean now. And here's his left flank. That is not a manticore. That is the model he's using on a 40 mil base, just proxying it in for I think a level 3 or 4 sorcerer with on a Pegasus, a dark Pegasus. So that's what that is. So if you see a manticore, it's not a manticore, it's a Pegasus in disguise. In front of them is another unit of corsairs with a bolt thrower behind them, and next to them is whatever the Medusa drawn chariot thing is now. I cannot remember what it's called, the Alter Yema or something like that. That's just a proxy model. It was the only base that we had. And here's his lefter flank. Sorry, I just couldn't get it all into the same picture. It's a unit of fast cav, Dark Riders, I think are what they're called now, or if that's what they were called before, I don't remember. And then he's got a unit of skirmishing guys right over there, some sort of crazy elven bad guys. Pretty sure the assassin's in that unit. So, but yeah, and they've vanguarded up right there. Here's my right flank, which from right to left consists of Lord Tremendous, a unit of trappers, the Combustor, and my 5x tribesmen with my general Kaka Shabadu installed. Here's my center. Again, from right to left, there's a unit of 7x tribesmen with my BSB Khan. Behind them is my Scratapult. Next to them is Rufus. Gotta love my Rufus. And then, of course, my 6x Merc Vets on the left side there. In the top middle, you can kind of see my other unit of trappers. And my left flank consists of my Bruisers. So here's top 1 after movement, and as you see, I got to go first, which was pretty obvious because I deployed everything first, because I just don't care. Everything shoots forward. I want in on these guys yesterday. My tribesmen will move up. A little risky. I didn't know what his Dread Knights were going to do, how fast they were going to come up or not. The Merc Vets do the exact same thing, because I want a piece. Although Rufus is a lot closer to the Merc Vets, so I figure anything that runs into them, he's going to slow down by 3. That should be pretty good. My Bruisers move up as fast as they can, a full 12, straight towards that bolt thrower, and I'm going to charge it next turn. And Lord Tremendous moves up to the right flank there, I think about... no, he only moved up 8 inches so I could shoot, and that was where he ended up. So if something charges him, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing on my right flank that he can't just decimate. The Combustor and the trappers stay in the ruins there. The Combustor moves up just a little bit, and they're going to try to take out those skirmishers with what's it called? Skull Splitter, Fireball, whatever else I can get, just to get rid of that unit before it can really do any damage, and everything else just kind of comes up to support. That's it for movement. During the magic phase, I fire off a Toothcracker, Bone Crusher, whatever the hell it is, and I'm able to kill 2 of the Dread Knights, which is a pretty good start. And then I don't do anything in magic, but we go into shooting, and the combustor is able to kill 2 of these guys, which was fan-friggin-tastic. It's enough to cause a panic check. And not only does my opponent roll an 11 for the panic check, but he rolls boxcars and takes them off the table. The angle and everything like that just takes him exactly off the table. So first round, and his scouting little bastards are off the table, and that's better than I could have hoped for. I was very pleased. So that's it for my turn. So we go over here to bottom of 1 after movement. And he comes up somewhat. His fast cav move up just to kind of chaff Lord Tremendous, which is perfectly fine. His Corsairs move up slightly, not a ton. The guys in the, well, the movement tray is kind of in the ruins, but the guys aren't. They come up just slightly. The other Corsairs with the BSB inside, they move up a little more aggressively. And his Dread Knights hold back a little bit. Not entirely stupid or anything. My guy, my Merc Vets have movement 7, which he's well aware of, so that could have been a lot better for me if he had failed that charge or if he had gotten too close. But yeah, that's really about it for movement. During the magic phase, his little caster chick, she stabs a couple of guys and kills them off in order to make either the spell easier or to get extra pluses to cast. I can't remember which it is, but it's just cool that she's helping me kill off elves. I find that very enjoyable. And whatever she did to those guys, it worked, because she's able to take my tribesmen with my general in it down -1 weapon skill, I believe, and I guess it was just to deter them from charging next turn. In the shooting phase, all 3 bolt throwers fire at Rufus. 2 of them fail to hit and or wound, I can't remember which, and then one of them does hit, does wound, but is only able to do 1 wound to him, and that's because Rufus is a friggin' juggernaut, and you don't mess with him. Unfortunately, my trappers in the middle there are not as lucky, even though they're in hardcover, even though they're skirmishers, even though he's, got all this other craziness going on. He's able to kill 3 of them with some combined shooting. Yeah, his dice really warmed up after the bolt throwers, and I do pass my panic check, but that's only because my general was within 12. So, poor guys. So with that over, we go over here to top of 2 after movement, and there is some, not much, but some. My big unit of tribesmen, my BSB, charge into his unit of Corsairs, because I'm pretty sure I've got that. My bruisers on the left flank charge into the bolt thrower and make it, and that's awesome. Lord Tremendous takes the bait and goes after the fast cav, and he ends up right where you're looking, which is awesome as well. I can't remember if my Merc Vets tried to charge or not. I'm going to say they didn't. I think I just moved them up slightly, thinking that they're not going to, that the Dread Knights aren't going to charge me. I honestly believe that my opponent's getting a little too cautious with them, and so I gamble with that a little bit. And my unit of 5 tribesmen, I think they hold back a little bit. I don't want them to go into combat with my general right away, because a lot of things have changed since the last time I've seen Dread Elves on the table. In fact, I've never seen Dread Elves on the table. I've only seen their now extinct cousins, the Dark Elves, ever on the table, and I know things have changed, so I'm a little cautious. Whether or not that's a good idea, you'll see. The Combustor and my Trappers on the right flank there, they stay right where they're at. Trappers, mainly because I don't want them getting shot to pieces by the Corsairs, and my Combustor, because the same reason, he doesn't need to move. He's got those Corsairs well within his range, and that's good. Elizabeth comes on the table, and she's behind the right flank bolt thrower, and so she's going to cause some damage over there, hopefully, and that's it for my turn 2 movement. There's a better picture of Lord Tremendous slamming into the chaff, and he's going to eat well. And there's a better picture of my tribesmen with my BSB slamming into the Corsairs. Their BSB is in there as well. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. And as you can see, I took 2 wounds going in because they stood and shot. And there's a better picture of my bruiser slamming into that bolt thrower, and it's got to go. During the magic phase, I get burning ramparts off on these Corsairs, and that was for 2 reasons. Number 1, I wanted to do some damage to them. Number 2, I did not want them to countercharge into my tribesmen if I was still there next turn without taking massive casualties, because if they move, they'll all take strength 4 hits, which is huge. To top it all off, they took D6 strength 4 hits to begin with, and then they took an extra D3, I can't remember how many, from the lore attribute. So as you can see, a handful of them died already. They do pass their panic check, but you know, you can't have everything. But I was very pleased that that spell got off. During the shooting phase, my Scratapult gets a direct hit on top of his crossbow unit with his caster inside. But unfortunately, I just can't capitalize on the beautiful hit, and I'm only able to kill 2 of these guys. I needed 4s. Can't always roll out of the box, but, you know, 2's better than 0. Over here, it's beautiful, though. I'm able to destroy the crew without taking any damage, and then we turn to face. The model in the top right is where the unit actually is. I have not magnetized my bases or my movement trays yet, so I kind of have to worry about physics still. So that's where they're at. I'm working on magnetizing, I swear. Over here we go into combat, and it's so much more bloody than I expected it to be. I used my Rotten Jaw. I popped that so I have poison against these guys, because I need his BSB wiped out. I don't want him taking rerolls anymore. And they really resist a lot. Don't get me wrong, they take a lot of damage, but they killed 2 of my tribesmen, and they don't go anywhere. I think in the end I only win by like 3, but they're either stubborn or steadfast, I can't remember which, and they stick, so kind of shocked the hell out of me. Over here, no surprise, I kill 4 of these guys, 1 survives, I win by like 5. And I turn to face. I let him go. I restrain. I let him go. I figure he's below 25%. He needs to rally on a 4 or a 5. Can't remember which. But yeah, he's fleeing. And if he comes back on the table, so be it. I have the Combustor. I still have my Trappers. They can go throw stuff at him until he dies. But I need Lord Tremendous elsewhere, especially after the Corsairs stuck. I really wasn't expecting that. So with that, we go over here to bottom of 2 after movement. And the biggest thing is his Dread Knights charge my mercenary vets, and they make it. I think he needed an 8 or a 9. It was foolish. I probably should have fled, but I was like, but if he misses it, I got this. No, he didn't miss it. He slams right into him, and that's super bad. I had moved my Frost Mammoth too far away to support them like an idiot. I don't know why. I know why, actually. That's a lie. I moved my Frost Mammoth so that I could shoot and have a better shot at his... what's it called, his Pegasus guy, and yeah, that didn't work out at all. Never should have done that. Got stupid. My opponent saw it and capitalized. Good on him. His Pegasus caster moves directly into the middle to try to cast at some... I think he wanted to lower the toughness on Rufus in order to try to shoot him with the bolt throwers and kill him. And other than that, the 1 unit of Corsairs that aren't in combat don't move because Burning Ramparts is on, which is huge. His Altar of Yema or something like that, it moves over just slightly to get a better shot at Elizabeth. He wants to do the Care Bear stare at her and try to kill her off that way. And the only thing is his Dark Rider continues to flee because he does not make his rally check. And as far as I can tell, that's about it. There's a better picture of his Dread Knights slamming into my Merc Vets, and man, do I get to see what these guys are capable of now. During his magic phase, his little caster stabs and kills 3 more guys, forcing the panic check, but they pass. I don't understand what he was doing with it, but I know it was making his magic phase better, so it was kind of fun to watch. He starts casting spells, but I pop my Demon Heart at the beginning of this magic phase, so any doubles he rolls, whether the spell goes off or not, is a miscast. It's true. Check the FAQ. So one of the spells that he tried to cast, I stopped, but it was doubles, so he miscast, and he ends up miscasting 7. A huge big deal. I think it was a Strength 5 hit, which wasn't able to wound him or anything like that. It did take some power dice out of his pool, but he had enough to get another spell off, and I think it was... -1 strength on these guys, which is huge, but this one actually got off. I tried to stop it and I failed. So he miscasts 8 over here. Thank you to my Demon Heart. Again, nothing bad happens to him or anything like that. I think it either fails to wound him or just it's not a big deal. But it turned what was like a 10 or 11 power dice magic phase into like a 5 power dice magic phase where only 1 spell got off. So honestly, the Demon Heart is way, way undercosted for what it does, especially after that FAQ. They may need to look at that. During his shooting phase, it's very impressive actually. His bolt throwers have locked on to Rufus, and they're able to put 3 more wounds onto him, leaving him with only 2 left. It's starting to get a little real over here for Rufus, and I'm not happy that he's gotten so many wounds on him. I guess considering how poorly he rolled last turn, it's what I deserve. Rufus should be dead, but I don't like it. He's my boy, and you don't shoot at my boy. Mm-mm. And then over here, his Altar of Yema, the Medusa or whatever, makes eye contact with Elizabeth and hits her up for a wound. Not as bad as it could have been, all things considered, but yeah. Yeah, that thing's got to die now. Unacceptable. We go into combat, and it's unflippin' believable. His guys do 7 wounds to my mercenary vets. I do, what is it? I think I do 7 or 8 wounds to him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wounds to him. And that's only because I rolled more 6s for lethal strike than I should have. I rolled like 4 6s for lethal strike. Don't get me wrong, my unit has a ton of attacks, but it never should have happened like that, per math reasons anyway. But anyway, I did 7 or 8 wounds to him. He did 7 to me, but he charged downhill with a banner. I did like 7 or 8 wounds to him with a banner. He wins by like 1 or 2. I am steadfast because I've got a rank and he doesn't. So I'm all excited. I think, okay, all I need is leadership 8 and I'm golden. And I rolled like a 10 or an 11. It was ridiculous. And instead of rolling high to get away, I rolled the like 5 I needed to stay or whatever. BSB's out of range, General's out of range. I was like leadership 8 or whatever I needed, and I rolled way high, and I break, and I get ran down because these guys charge down a hill or something. Absolutely terrible. My whole unit, my 405-point unit plus the banner, is eaten alive by the Dread Knights. Holy crap. So over here, that -1 to my strength is really telling, and my opponent decides, I'm going to roll out of the box because now's my opportunity. He kills 3 of my tribesmen, and I do like 2 to him or something insane. I lose by a truckload over here. And I break, and I get ran down. Oh no! In 1 round of combat, I lose my mercenary veterans, my big unit of tribesmen, and my BSB. Holy crap! The only consolation is that my tribesman with my general gets to charge his corsairs with his BSB. Yay! Oh my god! Corsairs are crazy! So, yeah, this just went from a wholesale slaughter of the elves to a wholesale slaughter of the tribesmen. So, I'm going to start doing some Hail Mary moves. So we go over here to top of 3 after movement, and holy crap, I don't have a choice. I need to get in here. So Rufus charges the Pegasus guy, who makes his terror check. Rufus has to go through the dangerous terrain trapped area that my trappers put in there in order to get to him, and he takes a wound going in, and that's it. I got lucky as hell, and he makes it, which is huge. My tribesmen charge the Corsairs, who are quick to fire, and they kill one of the tribesmen on the charge, which is insane. Lord Tremendous does a long ball charge into the other Corsairs, weathering their fire and makes it no problem, which is huge. Elizabeth goes into the bolt thrower over there on the right flank, which I have to get rid of before it finishes off everything else. And my bruisers, they just make a beeline for the middle of this combat as quick as they can because I'm running out of models. I need to get in on this quick. My chariot moves up 6 inches because that's all he can move, and I don't want to be charged by his Dread Knights next turn. And my trappers on the right side, they move up to try to get in there to try to take out whatever they can as soon as they can. And my combustor moves up slightly, trying to stay at least 50% in the ruins for the cover and fire off his skull splitter and fireballs at the wizard on the hill there with the few little crossbow guys left to try to put them in the bag before they can do any more damage. I'm getting desperate. There's a better picture of Rufus making an incredible charge through incredible dangerous terrain of the ruins and getting in there. And man, did I get lucky. I rolled high. He only took one more wound. We were both kind of shocked. And there's a better picture of my tribesmen with my general slamming into these Corsairs and their BSB because I need to get them in there and I need to kill these guys. I even lost one going in, so I'm really worried. And here's a dual better picture of Lord Tremendous slamming into the Corsairs and Lady Elizabeth slamming into the rear of that bolt thrower. Both are excellent. During a magic phase, I know it's kind of hard to see, but I believe I get Toothcracker off on my tribesmen, giving them +1 toughness, which will make those weedy little elves' lives much more difficult when it comes to wounding me, which I need. And then during the shooting phase, my trappers, my 2 remaining trappers, are able to kill 2 of the Dark Elf crossbow guys in the shooting phase. Just absolutely amazing. So we go over into combat, and Elizabeth is able to destroy the bolt thrower. I know, real shock. But the Altar of Yema is within 6 inches of it and panics. He rolls an 11 for his panic check, and then he rolls boxcars again to take the thing off the table. Oh, man. Yeah, it did actually go through the ruins in order to do that, but I mean, who cares? It went off the table. Whether it blew up or not is irrelevant. Just absolutely insane. My poor opponent, he can't pass panic checks. So Lord Tremendous goes and just tears up. I think he tears up 4 or 5 Corsairs, and I can't remember, but I think they're able to slip 2 wounds through on him or something silly like that. He's carrying 2 wounds, as you can see. I just can't remember if it happened because of this combat or when he charged in, and I just forgot to mention it. But he's half alive. We're gonna go with the optimistic side. I win this combat. And I restrain pursuit. They break. I restrain myself from pursuit. As you can see, Lord Tremendous does heal one of his wounds thanks to a Headhunter, which is massively huge. But the Corsairs that fled kick off. They trigger Burning Ramparts. And 3 that break die to Burning Ramparts. I'm able to wound all 3. He doesn't make any of his armor saves, and they all die, which works out really well, actually. I don't even have to worry about chasing him down. I wasn't worried with Lord Tremendous doing that anyway. He was turning to get back into this fight because I'm still pretty desperate. But this combat phase has really turned things around for me with what's going on. I'm getting really lucky, and that's good for me. Then over here in combat, my general ends up in a challenge with his BSB. Thanks to being toughness 6 because of Toothcracker and the Blood of Koloth, my general couldn't be hurt, thank God. But in return, I wasn't able to do anything to his BSB. However, my tribesmen kick it into overdrive and beat half the unit to death. I think there's 4 Corsairs left and his BSB. So I have a rank, he has a rank, he loses by enough. I think he either auto breaks or he needs like a 1 in order to stand, something crazy like that. And I believe we run them down and take care of that unit. So that's actually huge that happened. But it was all because of that +1 toughness. Magic played a pivotal role in this game. Wow. That's actually embarrassing. I'm going to leave that in there. Oh, and then Rufus. Oh, he does all 3 impact hits to this thing and just obliterates it. All 3. I get 3 impact hits because it's D3, and I rolled 3. All 3 at strength 6. Just pulverized this rotten, knife-eared pain in the ass on her Pegasus, and just bloody smears all over his face. Just glorious. Killed that thing dead without having to roll 1 attack. You know what Rufus did afterwards? Rufus overruns into the other caster with the 1 remaining elf. I've never been so pleased. This guy, he's got 5 mortal wounds in him. He's hanging on by a thread, and the son of a crazy bastard is still pushing through, destroying elves. It's official. Rufus is as racist against elves as I am, and I am a very proud dad. I want you to know that. So here we go, bottom of 3 after movement, and there's not much because most of the elves are dead. His Dread Knights wheel around and come over here to try to get an angle either on my tribesmen with my general or in my Scratapult. And other than that, I think he's got a bolt thrower, and that's it. I can't think of anything else that's on the table. I don't see anything else. But yeah, that's it for movement. During a magic phase, his little caster chick is able to get -2 toughness off on Lord Tremendous, which he's going to try to bolt throw him to death, and it's actually pretty smart. And then he fires and he wounds, but he's only, and it gets through, but he's only able to hit Lord Tremendous for 1 wound, and that could have went the other way real easy. So again, like I always say, better to be lucky than good any day. In combat, Rufus does 2 impact hits, killing the character and doing a wound to the sorcerer. They attack back. I think they actually do wound Rufus once, but I'm able to armor save it. Thank God. And then, yeah, his counterattacks just obliterate the sorcerer. So that's it. And then Rufus turns to face the bolt thrower. He does not overrun. He's not frenzied. He doesn't have to. And then we go over here to top of 4 after movement. Rufus and Elizabeth charge the bolt thrower because I just want to make absolute sure it's dead. And the rest of the army swoops around to go after the Dread Knights. My Scratapult moves up onto the hill so he doesn't get charged. My tribesmen turn to face. Lord Tremendous comes over. The bruisers start coming towards the middle. The trappers in the middle turn and get closer so they can try to throw stuff at him. The combustor and my other unit of trappers come down on my right flank there to try to shoot at these guys and take them out, but just all my attention now is going into them because the bolt thrower in the top middle there is taken care of. Alright, so nothing happens in magic. Shooting, nothing happens until the trappers throw their sticks and stones, and they actually put 1 wound onto its general. These friggin' guys are unbelievable. They're like platinum dipped in awesome that chew on kryptonite. I don't even know how they do what they do. Absolutely thrilled. And then over here, Rufus and Elizabeth, I don't even want to say what they do, but it's so gory that it would actually give this a not safe for work type of rating, not to mention an advisory thing. It's just, suffice it to say that there won't be a casket at the bolt thrower elves' funeral. Ooh. So we go over here to bottom of 4 after movement, and my opponent attempts to charge my tribes with my general in, kind of a Hail Mary thing, and fails, and that is it. There's a better picture of my opponent failing a charge into my tribesmen. And it's at this point that my opponent looks at the table and just says, you know what, man, you got this one. It's game over. So there it is. There's the end of the game. And honestly, I mean, yeah, my guys, I don't even know if I would have charged. I had enough ogre crossbows and combustor and skull splitter and enough time left that I probably could have just shot these guys off the table. Maybe chaffed with my trappers and eventually charged when I just absolutely felt like it. And that would have been the end of it. So he knew it. I knew it. He surrendered, and I think there's no shame in that. But wow, this game had so many turns, it became a full circle. It was crazy. Really impressed. Considering this is like my opponent's only played like less than half a dozen games, and he gave me this much of a challenge. I was very impressed. It doesn't help any matters for my poor opponent that Rufus decided to go just crazy. And stuff like that. Oh man, but it felt good. It felt good to take it to some elves, and we'll get to the recap in a minute because right now I'm gonna take a break and show you guys a little something I think is gonna get you excited. Tell him, Captain Picard.
Make it so.
Alright guys, I want to take a minute to tell you guys about something Tabletop Miniature Solutions is doing. This is the first company to support the 9th Age, okay? The very first. And right now they've got an Indiegogo campaign going on where they're doing these magnetic bases on movement trays. Take a look at the pictures. These are the samples that they have up. Basically, auto magnets. They're better than magnets. They've got a whole video on their Indiegogo page showing how it works. They're trying to build up around 2K in pounds or something like that in order to fund it. They're giving you a ton of bases, a ton of magnetic bases, no less. I think of your choice. Go check it out. The link to it will be in my description. You know, get in on this. It's like a Kickstarter thing. Get in on this. Get yourself some bases. Support the company that supported us first. These are good guys. They're doing a hell of a job. They're putting out a good product, and it would be smart for the community to support those that supported the community. So I've already donated. I gave up 37 of my own dollars in pounds, however the hell that all worked out, or euros or whatever it was. So, I mean, hey, get in there, give what you can, get this started, and get yourself some badass merch. I mean, there's no lose here. There's no downside. You'll thank me later. So you guys, as you saw, it was a victory for Lord Tremendous. My opponent ended up surrendering at the bottom of 4. I ended up losing my Khan, 7 tribesmen, my unit 7 tribesmen, my mercenary vets, and my opponent got half points for Rufus. Holy crap, what a game. I mean, seriously, from the very beginning, it looked like I mean, honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought I had it in the bag, and then my Merc vets crumbled and got ran down. My BSB and my tribesmen got broke and run down. Rufus had 4 wounds on him. I mean, talk about lucky breaks for me. I mean, I would love to say that this was skill or tactics, but I panicked and freaked out, and it worked out in the end. But yeah, Rufus was absolutely amazing. Absorbed all those bolt throw shots, even though my opponent was rolling low. Killed both elf casters and ate a bolt thrower with only 1 wound to spare. Could not believe it. And of course, Lord Tremendous was amazing as always. Took care of the chaff, rolled up the flank, took out the Corsairs, ate up some bolt thrower shots of his own. The Burning Embers thing, finishing off the Corsairs, that was just incredible. And yeah, even the Bruisers pulled their weight by taking out a bolt thrower on my left flank there. All my components really kind of picked up where all my weaknesses were, like when my Merc vets got rolled by the Dread Knights, and then my Tribesmen and BSB got rolled by the Corsairs. Ugh! I got really lucky that I had some easy buttons in my army. My opponent's army was something else, though. Those Dread Knights, like I said, they were friggin' mean. I don't remember them ever being that tough. And I got really lucky with lethal strikes against them. I should have lost by a lot. I still got broke, but man, I will never underestimate Dread Knights again. Not to mention, speaking of underestimating things, the Corsair models or the units are super tough now. Like, I'm not used to them being that good, and now that they are, first of all, I love it, but second of all, wow, they put out some damage. Man, if I didn't have another unit backed up after they took out my big unit, I don't even know. And if I hadn't gotten that +1 toughness off, it would have been a deja vu. He would have just eaten that unit alive again. It was that toughness 5 that did it in the end. Just absolutely incredible. Really going to have to rethink how I go up against Dread Elves from now on. This was a damn good game against a damn good opponent. I mean, I'm really impressed with how far this guy has come in such a short amount of time with an army that requires a lot of finesse, to be perfectly honest with you. I really enjoyed the game. I got to kill elves. Who doesn't love that? But I also enjoyed it because I had to earn it. I mean, it looked at first like I had it just due to inexperience, and then when it turned on me so hard, I had to turn around. I got desperate. I mean, it wasn't tactics anymore. It was just throw meat guys at them until hopefully they fall under the weight. I got lucky. I really did. A couple of real choice panic checks off the table with his altar and his skirmishers, and then Rufus making it through that dangerous terrain. Just uncanny amount of luck in the end there, and that's the only reason I won this game. So very excited to play this opponent again and see what happens in a rematch, because I have no doubt that it's going to be a lot closer, if not a teeth kicked down my throat situation next game, and that's going to be awesome. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Battle Report number 12 is officially in the books. One hell of a game. You've seen it, you know I love it, you should love it too. Go to the website, check it out, get in on it, and maybe we can get a game in one day. Really though, again, I'm going to reiterate, go check out that Indiegogo thing going on with TMS. Those trays and the magnetic base and everything like that are really inspired, and you should probably get yourself some. And no, I'm not getting any kickbacks for this. It's just me trying to put cool stuff in your hands. Go check it out. But yeah, guys, I've rambled on long enough for this battle report. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.